Hey, welcome to 5 Crucial Factors to Your Online Success. I am Jeff Bode, and I'm so happy to be here with you today sharing this excellent information that I have for you. First, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am, just so that if you're new to me, you kind of understand where I'm coming from, and you actually see that this guy knows what he's talking about. I should pay closer attention to him. I should really listen to what he's got to say because then I can have success myself. And if I can accomplish that, then I know that you are going to really take action on this information and get some real results out of it and get a lot out of it. That's what I really hope is you get a lot out of this information. So I'm Jeff Bode. I'm a successful business owner, online business owner, created over 20 products in various niches, built large email lists, tons of products and affiliate sales in multiple niches, and I've also helped hundreds along the way. Probably the thing that I'm most proud of is helping hundreds of people along the way. And I tell this to people that I'm coaching. If you're willing to put in the action and do what I tell you to do, then I'm definitely willing to help and support you as much as I can, because the simple fact is most people aren't willing to follow directions and take action on something that someone says. And even if they trust that person, they really value what they have to say, a lot of people still for some reason don't take action and actually do what they need to do in order to see success. People are afraid of success at times, and they're afraid that they're going to fail. And a lot of people fail. Everyone fails. I've failed in the past. It's something that you just have to get over and get past. I can help you with that if you choose to work more with me. But obviously I can't go through and help everyone with that, because everyone has their own unique issues with regards to that situation. Now listen, everyone can succeed and get the same results as I have, if not better, but they must have each of these things in place that I'm going to share with you, and they must have the right mindset. They must, like I said, one thing is fear of failure. That's a big one. And if you don't have the right mindset with regards to that, you're going to have a hard time reaching success because you're afraid to fail, so you're not taking any action. There's plenty of other mindset related issues that limit you from the success that you could have. Now you could go right now, you could go and create a $10,000 product. But if you're afraid that it's not going to work out, it's not going to happen, you're not going to get customers, then you're not going to sell that product. But if you have the mindset and belief that you can create something of value that is worth at least $10,000, if not a lot more, and you know that people are going to be happy to pay that amount of money because of the fact that you're providing so much value, and you go about and you work hard at it, you follow directions, you do what other successful people are doing, and you sell those $10,000 products, then you just made a lot of money, and at the same time you're helping people, you're feeling good about it. But if you don't have the mindset that you can do that, then it's not going to happen for you. If you do have that mindset, then it can definitely happen. Now look, it's getting harder to get things started online. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's harder, a lot harder, as every 6 months it seems to get harder and harder because there's more competition. There's you just need to understand things better than you did in the past. So in the past you could buy really cheap traffic, you could create a landing page which doesn't convert that great and you'd still make money. You could send cheap traffic directly to an affiliate offer and make money that way. In today's world, it's a little bit harder to get cheap traffic. It's a little bit harder to convert that traffic into sales. It's harder to get ranked highly on Google because Google's changing their algorithms around and all that. So basically, you need to have a better understanding of the right things to do. So like I said, there's lots of people failing. We've all failed. I've failed plenty of times, but I'm happy about those failures because I learned from them, and as a result I learned what not to do, and I took a little bit different action, and as a result I'm where I am today because of those failures. So let's get into the 5 critical factors to online success. The first factor is you must have a solid business model. And what I mean by that is a business model or a plan in place that is based on something that works consistently. Now there's a lot of different business models out there that just don't really work consistently. They don't produce predictable results which are going to produce good profit margins. And that's the honest truth. I know because I've tried a lot of business models that didn't work for me, that either didn't work for me or just resulted in so little profits that it wasn't worth my time. And it's when I learned to become unattached to that business model and work at it just enough to know how well it's going to work out for me that I became successful. And part of the reason for me to develop that mindset is because of the second crucial factor, which is you must have some sort of support. A support system, meaning friends that are actually in this business, or a coach or a mentor that's in this business that is either as successful as you or more successful than you, preferably more successful than you, because if you're hanging out with people that are successful, you're going to be more successful. And if they're more successful than you, you're valuing what they say more, and they're probably giving you better advice. So either way, you need to have some sort of support system. Let's say the person is not as successful as you, that's okay, because you can use them as, maybe you're going to use them as an accountability partner, where they're just going to keep you on task and keep you motivated to keep working on your business and keep, pushing hard to get some results. So there's a lot of different ways you can use the support system, and you really need that support system, because if you're going at it alone, then you don't know which mistakes you're making. You don't know, if you're going down the wrong path, you're just wasting a lot of time. And there's a lot of things you're not going to be sure about that you're going to need a support system to help you out, to push you in the right path, direct you where to go, and help you out to get to the results that you want to faster. Now look, number 3, you must have a manageable business for you. And what that means is you need a business model that is going to be something that you can manage. Hardly anyone can work 60 plus hours per week in an online business. And the reason for that is, you really need to be motivated, self-motivated, in order to spend that amount of time on your business. And you really need to, have a strong support system. You need to really enjoy what you do, have a business model where you're just seeing a lot of results in order to dedicate that much time. So that's why I really recommend people going with setting up a business model in a way where they're only required to work a few hours a week at the minimum, a few hours a week, just to maintain that business. And it's totally manageable. It's totally doable. I have businesses that are actually in that place right now, so I know that you can do the same. And that brings up number 4. You must do something that you like, because if you don't like what you're doing, then you're going to have less motivation. You're not going to have that motivational support doing something that you don't like or you hate. The only reason you go to your job is probably not because you really like it. It's because you have a lot of support in place, or negative things that might happen if you don't go to your job. You're going to get fired. Your boss is going to yell at you. Your family's going to get mad at you, or whatever it is. There's a lot of reasons why you need to go to your job. But with the online business, you don't have a boss to yell at you. You don't have, you're not going to get fired because you're the business owner. So if you're doing something that you like, you're going to be motivated to do it. We've all have projects where we're working on, we're just so excited about it, we just stay up for hours and hours and just lose track of time because we're so involved in that business and we really like what we're doing. That's where I want you to be in your business in order to, really see results and be able to dedicate the time you need in order to get where you want to go. The fifth and final thing is that you must have both traffic and conversions down. Now look, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on traffic, and it's not all about traffic. Sure, it's important to have traffic, it's important to have quality traffic, but it's also important to have conversions as well. Conversions is something that is challenging for a lot of people, and they just don't dedicate any time or resources to learning about conversions. You need to have both traffic and conversions down, especially in the current situation online. Because if you don't know how to convert that traffic into sales, you're going to have a hard time keeping up with others that are going to be able to invest more money or generate larger profits. So regardless if you're trying to sell a product, you're doing CPA offer, let's say you're selling solo ads, you're just selling a click of an email, you still need to have some sort of conversions down in order to maximize your profits. And as far as traffic goes, you need to have a traffic source that can come on a consistent basis. That's why I really recommend like email marketing, building up email lists, because you can turn that one-time traffic source into a constant traffic source. And you can leverage that constant traffic source and turn it into a bigger traffic source. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed learning from me. I have a lot more to offer, and without making this video really long, I just appreciate the time that you spent to learn from me. Rewatch this video. I highly recommend that you re-listen to it because of the fact that you're going to get a lot out of it, and I just packed this information and just gave you a lot of solid information here. So if you really put it to action and start implementing it with your business, then you're going to see results a lot faster, and that's what I really want for you. So take care.